No. She done left a note, left her keys, left her phone. I said, no. I said, I've been waiting on her to hold the baby, but this is not what I expected. Now, I don't think they're going to take it there, but at the same time, we'll see. Because once again, I have seen a show where they took it there. Where they were suffering from, I think it's called postpartum or whatever. And they actually attempted to harm the baby. But I don't think they're going to do that. I think that maybe she took the baby to say goodbye to forever. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I think October 8th, y'all. But okay, so first we're gonna do a summary and then we're gonna dive into the review. Karen ended. She left a letter that says time to end this chapter, and I said, "Now I like seeing her finally hold faith." But when Miss Lisa left and she started crying and she started acting how she was before the conversation with everybody else or whatever, I said, "No," I said, "Somebody come get this baby." I said, "Somebody come help this baby." I said, "I don't know what she gonna do or what her mind said that, but help." Now people have been saying that she was gonna leave the baby there. She took the baby. She took the baby, y'all. Spoiler alert. She took the child, but I don't know. We'll see. What else? I said maybe she took Faith with her to say goodbye to forever. I don't know. They haven't even mentioned if the baby was gonna have, if they was gonna have the baby a little funeral or anything like that. They didn't say what they did with the baby, the body, or anything like that. Look, I was expecting something. I said, why didn't they mention that? I don't know, y'all. But yeah, aside from that, Mr. Benson ended up telling Andy basically that if she has to drop the case or he'll drop her, then maybe this ain't the place for her. And I said, I'm confused now. I said, I thought she was a boss like him. Excuse me. I said, I thought she was a boss like him. I thought she had say. I said, I'm confused now. Now I know sometimes it don't matter, especially when they do the whole voting and stuff like that. But I'm assuming they ain't did no vote. I'm assuming that they didn't do no vote. But yeah, I said I thought she was a boss like him. How he able to tell her she can't do this and that? Zach got drunk. Him and Fatima finally had it out about what she said. Chad showed up at the end of that scene with his guard or whoever that dude is, and he got a weapon on his side. And I said, here they go. I said, here you go. I said, now at Rich Place at his smoothie bar, I think that's a smoothie bar. I don't know. I said when they was at Rich Place, Zach started. Now you showing up to his house, you started it. Then you done brought back up or whatever. Now I understand because Zach was, showing out and all this other stuff. But at the same time, come on now. I said, come on now. But yeah, what else? Let's see where we stop at. Sabrina was just showing everybody the picture of Dr. Rock. I said, boundaries, hello, boundaries. Why would you want to show? I know that ain't your dude, but at the same time, I don't understand. Andy was telling Dr. Vaughn that I got a problem with this. Why wouldn't you talk to Fatima about it? Why are you talking? I mean, she did mention it or whatever. But she told Dr. Vaughn she feels like Fatima basically want to be a lawyer so bad that she crossing boundaries. But you the one who sent her down there to do it in the first place. Now, she did take on more than one or whatever. But aside from that, you should have never opened that door if you didn't want her to walk through it. I said it again. Now, I don't fully blame Andy because she do have a job to do. She do got a job to do. They already been trying to get her. They already been trying to get rid of her since season 1. They been trying to get rid of her since season 1. So I understand because you can't. That's why they said you can't mix business with personal. But yeah, so I don't fully blame Andy. I do think that she kind of feels some type of way about it, but I don't think she's fully wrong. And I think the last thing is that Sabrina ended up learning that Dr. Rock is actually Danny's cousin and that he's not a doctor after all. I said somehow I don't think that's gonna make a difference to her. I said somehow I don't think that's gonna make a difference to her. But okay, let's talk about it. First thing first. Hey, how y'all doing tonight? How are ya? This is for Tyler Perry Sistas season 9, episode 11. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. But let's talk about it. So we're gonna start with Hayden. So Hayden showed up to Andy's office or whatever, and he was like basically saying she's jealous of Fatima or whatever. He was like, jealousy doesn't look good on you. So she was like, what are you talking about? I'm not jealous and all this other stuff. So they just started talking. Then he started talking about her pursuing the Dr. Cruz case. And she was like, how do you know him? And he was like, that's my client or something like that. I said, now when this happened? I said, not Dr. Benson. I said, Dr. Benson. Not Mr. Benson or whatever his name is, Bradley. I said, he done went snitch and told dude to come over as a client because I don't think they can double cross them like that. Can they? If he one of their clients, they can't pursue no case against them, can they? I said, he had to go tell. He had to go tell some type of way that Dr. Cruz found out. I said, now how he, the other day when we seen him, we ain't heard nothing about nobody being no client or nothing like that. Now, come on today episode, he a client. He hating client or whatever. He was saying how she needs to just drop it and stuff like that. Later, that's when, I think that was when Benson came in. I think Benson came in right after Hayden, if I'm not mistaken. I think so. But yeah, he hating client. And I said, I said, Andy, you might as well just start your own firm at this point, because it's been too many times now. He letting you know right now how he get down. Even if he was to say, okay, let's end this or whatever, let's go on hold Dr. Cruz accountable or whatever, I keep my eye on him. I keep both eyes on him, matter of fact, because why would you be okay with that? She's telling you that this man is running around allowing black women to die and stuff. She's telling you that she got evidence. You told her to get evidence. She don't got the evidence now. She done got the evidence, plenty of it. She tell you that the man's name ain't even Dr. Cruz. You talking about something? What he said he played? Did he say golf? I don't know if he said pickleball, golf. Either way it go, he be playing sports with this dude. And he think that's excusable. Not excusable. What word I'm looking for? That's enough of a reason for you not to pursue a case against him. Don't win snitched and now he one of y'all clients. I said, Andy, you might as well just start your own firm at this point. I said, hold on. It cut off, y'all. But I was saying she might as well just start her own firm at this point, because what the word going on. I said, there's been too many times. They already was trying to oust her. How many times? He said, maybe this isn't the place for you. I said, I thought she was a big boss. I thought she was one of the big bosses. Now, I know they usually put it to a vote and stuff like that between the partners or whatever. I was I'm confused now. Didn't they say that it was going to go from, what was the dude name that died? Leland or something like that? It was Benson Jones and Leland, not Benson. Was it Benson? Yeah, Benson Jones and Leland, wasn't it? But he died. So wouldn't it be Benson Jones and Barnes or something like that? I don't know how it worked. But yeah, I was like, what the world? Then on Fatima, that's what I forgot to mention. I forgot to mention when Fatima was talking about her job, Zach had mentioned it being her last name, Taylor, and stuff like that. So I was like, I'm confused. I thought that Andy was one of the big bosses too. I thought they supposed to put her name on the building. Excuse me. But yeah, what else? Aiden tells Andy she wasting her time going after Dr. Cruz. They showed Karen she finally was holding faith. And I was like, I've been waiting on this. I've been waiting on her to hold her daughter. I thought that this was going to be not just necessarily a wake-up call, because I don't think that's a good way to put it, because I don't want nobody to think I'm minimizing anything like that. So I don't know the right word to use, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I thought this was gonna show her, okay, like, let me take care of Faith, let me feed her bottle, or I think she's supposed to be breastfeeding, I don't know. Let me change her, let me take her for a walk, something like that. Man, Miss Lisa said she was gonna go take a nap or something like that. I said, look, at first I was saying, yeah, go take a nap, let her spend time with her baby or whatever. But then she went to, as soon as Miss Lisa left out, she put the baby in the crib. She was crying and stuff. And she was acting how she was at first. And I said, no, come back. I said, come back and get this baby, please. But then, so next thing you know, she was gone. The baby was gone. Now, at first, I thought they were saying that she was going to leave the baby there by herself or something like that. She took the baby with her. She left her phone because they tried to call her. She left the keys. So it's like, okay, now what's going on there? How they going to be able to reach her? She was already been out of it for a while now. I said, oh, she in danger. But she ended up leaving a note. She ended up leaving a note. It basically said how, she about to end this chapter or whatever. So you would assume she about to do something to that baby. Now, once again, I don't know if they're going to take it that far, but people have said they've struggled with postpartum and they had thoughts about harming their child. So I was like, I don't know if they're going to bring awareness to it and actually show it. But I feel like maybe she took the baby to just spend time and talk to forever or something. Y'all know what they be doing. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just trying to, hope that I hope that they ain't going there. I really hope they don't. Like, I like when they bring awareness to stuff, but at the same time, I don't want to see no baby getting harmed. I don't know. Show or no show. But yeah, let's see. What else? Andy ends up seeing Benson walking by. She ends up telling Benson she got more evidence. He reveals that Cruz is now a client of the firm. She was like, when did this happen? The day you said you was going to pursue him, that you was going to pursue a lawsuit against him. He went snitched because he played golf or sports or whatever he played with this man. What the world going, is you cool? Dust? You think that matter? What the world? But yeah, Benson tells Andy she has to let it go. If not, maybe it's not the place for her. Basically, she may be boss. She may be a partner, but you don't got no say-so around here. Or at least according to him. I said he should have been gone with, what was the dude name? The other dude that was working with Jasmine and Morris, whatever that dude name was. I don't forget his name too. What was the dude name? Bellamy or whatever his name. He should have been gone with him. He should have been gone too. I don't know why. I'm just saying he should have been gone. But yeah, he been trying to get rid of Andy from the get go. But yeah, he basically told her to let it go or he gonna let her go. And I was like, that's what I was saying. I was confused now. So she ain't the boss. Like I know once again that don't matter in certain situations. It should, but it shouldn't. I mean, I said that wrong. It should, but it doesn't always. But yeah, they showed Zach. He was with Rich. They was at the place drinking and stuff. Zach still mad about the gifts. He was telling Rich all about it. Rich asked if he talked to Fatima. I actually like seeing Rich in this scene. He was looking after Zach. He definitely was, but he did try to use that moment to talk to Sabrina and she hung up. But yeah, Rich asked if he talked to Fatima. He was like, no, whatever, but he found out that she got more gifts and she didn't say nothing. He asked if he thought that, she was stepping out. He was like, he don't know what to believe or whatever. I said, Zach, don't go back now, Zach. You was the one person on the show that made progress after all these years. It's season 9 and they taking you back. It's season 9 now. It's season 9. Hold on. But yeah, what else? Let's see. But yeah, they was just having a conversation about that. He just kept drinking. He talking about buying everybody in there some drinks and stuff like that. Then Rich started talking to Zach about Sabrina and how he seen her with some dude, how she walked in on them, but they wasn't together. He was like, well, if y'all weren't together, you ain't got nothing to worry about. But she probably never get that image out of her brain. And he was like, yeah, you probably right or whatever. But yeah, he was looking after him, telling him he needs to slow down or whatever and not drink so much. He ends up calling Sabrina off Zach's phone and told about, Zach asked for the address. She gave it to him. And he tried to use that as his opportunity to talk to her. And she hung up. She hung up on him. She hung up or whatever. But he did take him home. They didn't show it. They just showed Zach laying on the couch. Hold on. But I said I liked that he was looking out for him. I give on that. I said, you scored a little point. You scored a little fraction of a point. What else? Let's see. Sabrina was showing Maurice the photo of Rock, and once again, I was like, boundaries. Nobody got no boundaries. That's not something you go around showing people. I was like, why would you want to show? Now I understand everybody got this thing where they think that because you're friends with somebody, you should be able to show them and tell them anything. But there's certain things you need to be on the hush-hush about. That's just my personal opinion. Whether y'all just sleeping together, y'all a couple. You shouldn't be showing your friends what this man got going on down there. That's just my opinion. I don't know. Maybe I'm different. I just think that's weird. Maybe not weird. Stupid, maybe. I don't know. Foolish. But yeah, what else? Paige brother ended up showing up or whatever. And I said, they just think this is a place for fraternizing or something. I don't even know how to spell it. Let's try to use big words. Don't even know how to spell it. But yeah, wasn't they at the bank? If I'm not mistaken, yeah, because Paige was like, what are you doing here? Did you come by here to see me? And I didn't know. He came by to see Maurice. But yeah, Paige's brother Dylan wanted to do vision boards with Maurice, and they was just saying how, I think Paige was the one saying that he doesn't want to do it. He agreed. Looked like he going to be at Maurice's place October 8th, y'all. I think that's a week after. I think that's after next week. Yeah, that's after next week, y'all, so we won't be gone long. We would not be gone long. I thought they was gonna use this as an opportunity to bring back House of Pain and stuff, but I guess not. I said, I guess not. And I think that's over with at this point with everything going on. I don't know. We'll see. What else? Let's see. Tony was still doing the same thing. She was just telling him he need to clean up and stuff like that. I said, at this point, just end it. I said, I think that you had the right person when you had Preston. Because the things you telling him to do, Preston was doing. He was helping out and everything. I said, so I think you messed up, sweetheart. I think you definitely messed up. But at the same time, I don't want to say that because you allow us to feel how you feel and change your mind. I always say that. Well, yeah, what all it boils down to is like, Tony is not who you want. And I ain't going to just fully say that because he needs to clean up behind himself and all that. He's not, I ain't going to say he. She's not all the way in the wrong. But yeah, she was just telling him to pick up after himself. He not listening. She gonna have to fully go off on him. That's what's gonna have to happen. Or maybe he gonna have a wake up call moment. I don't know. Maybe he doing this is just sticking to her at this point, cause she the reason why he got in trouble in the first place. Well, they both to blame. They both to blame, y'all. And I said maybe cause ain't no way you don't see what you doing. Like after she don't flat out told you. I said maybe he trying to work her nerves. I don't know. And did they ever say if she accepted his proposal or not? I can't remember, y'all. This season ain't been, I don't know what's been going on. I have not been impressed by this season. I got to do a video. I really got to do a video. I have not been impressed by this season at all. What else? Let's see. Tony's still doing the same thing. He said he thinking about renting. Oh, he told her he's thinking about renting out his house and moving in with her. And I said, how you gonna make the decision without talking to her? Come on now. I said, come on now, Tony. You gotta be doing this to stick it to her or something. I said, you gotta be playing or something. You gotta be playing. I was just assuming he playing. I don't know, y'all. But she been telling him. She even suggested he move to Alaska. She said, I changed my mind, moved to Alaska after all. But yeah, what else? Let's see. Fatima ended up receiving a phone call from, I don't know, somebody named Kathy. I'm assuming that was her nurse or whatever. Only and Zach had changed. I think he said he didn't want her having the baby in the hospital or whatever. And she told Kathy, only take instructions from her. Nobody should be able to. I said, exactly. They just be over here. I said, shouldn't nobody be able to call on your behalf unless you got the okay for them to do so? What the world going on? But yeah, she was like, only take instructions from her. She was highly upset about that. She was highly upset. Andy ends up telling Fatima that she's still going to, pursue the case, even though Benson told her to let it go. Fatima was asking her if she's sure about that. She ends up checking on her, saying she's gonna put on her friend hat, asking if she's okay. She told her that she's fine. Aaron got to the house. Hold on. Aaron ended up coming to the house. He was calling for Karen. She wasn't there. Now, once again, people had been saying that she was going to abandon Faith or whatever. He went over there. The baby was gone. I said, no. I said, no. She done took the baby. I said, she done took the baby now. So he went over there. So first he was calm. He was looking. He called out Miss Lisa Kane. She was like, she was just right here or whatever. So they was like, they tried to call her. The phone was right there. He was like, he don't like that. So then he found the keys. And I said, uh-oh. What's going on here? But yeah. So then they went out, tried to find her. They couldn't. They started contacting her friends. They haven't seen her or whatever. That's what they told her. But by the end of their scene, that's when he found the letter to my son. She read it. She about to end it. I'm about to say she about to end it all. She about to end that chapter or whatever. So I'm assuming like they ain't gonna take it there, y'all. We'll see. But what else? Let's see. I already said Karen was gone with Faith, left the phone and the keys. Pam ends up running to Danny. She ends up telling her that Karen was upset because the shop in shambles. And Danny was just letting her know that, if she gonna do it right. If you're gonna do it right. She understand, but you agreed to do this, then take care of it or whatever. So she said she gonna try. Zach was drunk. I had skipped ahead. I already covered Zach being drunk and Reach looking out for him. Reach calls Sabrina. Let's fast forward. Chaz ends up calling Fatima, tell her what happened. And she tried to explain to him that, you can't be sending a gift. You can't be sending gifts to another man, a woman, to his house or whatever. I didn't say that right. But y'all know what I'm trying to say. I said, exactly. Now he's showing up. I said, now you crossing the line now. You already done crossed how many lines? And I said, I was on your side about the Rich situation at his place. Because Zach he was coming at you sideways and stuff like that. Now, I will give you that. He did. But now you done showed up to this man's house. What the world going on around here? And then he told my son the gifts he had already gave. I said, oh, yeah, you must really want Fatima. I said, you must really want Fatima. Maybe she should have stuck to the job that Andy gave her because this is causing too many problems around here. Yeah. What else? Let's see. Sabrina tells Fatima about Zach, and she was like, okay, thanks for telling her. Danny tells Sabrina that Tony wants to move in. They was just talking about that, and she doesn't want that to happen. She likes being on her own. They also start to talk about Andy and the fact that she saw her with Dr. Vaughn. They can't hide nothing. That's why she ain't want to tell you. Y'all chatterbox too much. That's why she ain't tell you nothing. Y'all talk too much. Y'all just be telling everything. What if she ain't want these folks to know her business? I mean, apparently y'all all be doing this, so I guess it's just... I guess this is just one of those situations where, if you open the door, they're going to walk through it. Y'all been steady sharing y'all business, showing photos of you do stuff and everything. I guess nobody got no doggone boundaries. But yeah, I said, what if she didn't want you to... They started talking about the fact that they don't like when she be lying and secretive and stuff like that. What else happened? Let's see. Aaron asked Danny if they've heard from Karen. They told him no. Sabrina ends up seeing Rock show up, and that's when she realized that's Danny's cousin. Danny ended up snitching and telling that he's not an actual doctor. He just got out of jail and everything. Fatima went home. Zach was passed out on the couch. She was upset. She ends up confronting him. about, everything that's been going on from the nurse and everything. He ended up asking her if she cheated. She was like, no, basically she'll never entertain another man. He was like, basically you can't tell that he want to smash or whatever. She's talking about she don't think that he trying to smash. He trying to do something. Shoot. She's talking about she don't think that he's trying. I said, now for Fatima, you acting like how dudes be acting when they be trying to act clueless and stuff like they don't know what's what. I said, now Fatima, he doing too much now. It's showing your appreciation, showing you, giving you one bouquet of flowers or whatever, one thing of flowers to say, hey, thank you for looking after me in regards to everything, including the whole Tamara situation. That's it. That's all. He continues to send gifts, sending purses and everything. What they said there was a $6,000 purse. I said, now Fatima, don't be acting like these dudes now be over here like, I don't know, I didn't know that. She's my, so she don't think he trying to smash, but I'm assuming we finna see. What else? Let's see. Fatima said that she'll never entertain another man, so they start to argue. I said, no. I said, come on now, we need to go one season without them getting into it. One season now. So they start arguing. He's like, is there anything else you want to tell me? So they start talking about the doctor, and you don't get to decide. She was telling him that how that's her body, that she may be carrying their child, but that's her body. She get to decide what she gonna do with the baby or whatever. She don't want to have no water birth or whatever. And just telling him, she was like, she don't appreciate him going to her doctor and stuff like that. And he was like, I didn't go to them. They came to me, and I told them or whatever. So they start arguing about that. So he was like, anything else you want to tell me? And she had stopped. He was like how you feel about my child? You being excited, not excited, I said excited. You being relieved that it was my baby that died. And he was like, you felt that way because you don't want to have to deal with Karen. I was like, well, yeah. I was like, nah, yeah. I said, that's why I said you got to know what to share and what not to share. She could have kept that in her head. Because first of all, that's Karen's friend. Now, what if she would have slipped and told her what she said? That's a whole bunch of mess for no reason. Yes, that's supposed to be your friend too, but that was about her baby. Regardless of anything, that's about her baby. You relieve somebody's baby. I said, you should have kept that in your head. And I seen a lot of people saying, no, that ain't what she meant. That's literally what she said. She's like, I was right there, every step of the way and everything. She helped Karen. She did. I got to give her that. She definitely did. And Karen, like we all know, Karen was definitely going to use that baby to her advantage. She already was starting to say, I'm pregnant with his child. That's the father of my baby, so I kiss him on the cheek if I want to. I don't give a darn if you got 2 kids by him. Keep your crusty lips off. Keep your lips off him. Remember that, y'all? She was talking about son. If I want to give him a kiss, I give him a kiss, and if she want to give you a black eye, she'll give you a black eye. I said, because what the world? Y'all remember that? But she was like, yes, I kissed the father of my child. If I want to kiss him, I kiss him again. Did she say? I don't know if I'm imagining it. Did she say? If I wanted to kiss him on the lips, so you better be glad I ain't kiss him on the lips. Is that what she said? I don't know, y'all. Maybe she didn't. Maybe that's just what I heard. Maybe that's just what I heard. I don't know. But yeah, to myself, if I want to give the father of my child a kiss, and I said, this is a lot of y'all problem now. Y'all think that having somebody's child or children mean you could do whatever. You could cross every type of boundary there is, and nobody's supposed to hold you accountable, and you will be incorrect. You will be incorrect. Yeah, I say I haven't forgot that. She was talking about saying she want to kiss the father of her child or whatever on the cheek and all this other stuff. She could do that. And I said, okay. I said, but we never got a chance to actually see Fatima handle her. Matter of fact, I think the only scenes we've seen was a revolving. That didn't make sense. The only scenes we've seen involving violence or whatever was about Andy, wasn't it? The fight scene in the garage, the shooting in her place. The shooting at Gary place. Gary stabbing. Yeah, I think it all was centered around, unless I'm missing something. The fire. Well, that ain't really, violence. That could have been better. But I think other than that, unless I'm missing something, it was all revolving around Andy at first. I don't know. But yeah, I was like, I'm disappointed we never got to see her handle her because she was trying her every which way. But what else? Let's see. Let's see. Zach reveals he heard what she said about his baby. Chaz, she walked out. She got upset. Chaz showed up, and he got somebody back there with him. I'm assuming that's his guard. He got a doggone weapon on his side or whatever. And I said, you ain't the only one got no weapon around here. You think you can intimidate somebody because you done brought your boy with you? You don't know Fatima packing too? What the world going on? Fatima got son too. What you thought? But yeah, she telling him that he crossing the line or he crossing boundaries on the next episode, y'all. Andy was talking to Vaughn about the case and how Benson want her to drop it, but she's still gonna pursue it. She ends up saying how, Fatima been overstepping and basically she too eager to be a lawyer that, she crossing lines and breaking the rules or whatever. But once again, like, I'm confused. Like, why did you send her down there to handle your business then? I know you're trying to work on that case or whatever, but once you become a partner, you should be able to handle multiple. You should be able to handle. You should be able to handle multiple cases, right? I don't know, y'all. But yeah, let's see what else. Andy was waiting on her food when she got off the phone with Dr. Bun. She turned around, it was Gary. Gary's supposed to be talking to her on the next new episode or whatever. He back. I said, you been gone since episode 1 now. This episode 11. I said, where you been? I said, where you been? Y'all think he's still crazy? Or y'all think the whole shooting thing scared him back into, I ain't gonna say back into himself because he always been foolish. He always been crazy or whatever. But yeah, I said, they done brought him back, y'all. They done brought him back. Who else missing from the show? I feel like somebody else missing. I don't know. But yeah, Aaron was freaking out. We already talked about that. He left a note. Danny says that Rock lied. He's not a doctor. Aaron said the note says, I can't do this. It's time to end this chapter. So they gonna be talking about whether or not she would actually, do it. I'm assuming harm the baby. I don't think they're gonna take it there. I'd be shocked if they actually take it there. But once again, like, people have been talking about, I had seen a show about it. It was on TikTok. People was in the comments saying that this is realistic because they also had thoughts about harming their baby or whatever. And I said, wait, what? I said, what? For real? I said, dang, y'all think that's where they going with this? Or do y'all think she just took the baby for a walk or whatever? I don't know. But I think that's it. I think we covered everything. And again, it returns October 8th, y'all, so it's not going to be gone long. Then, we still got Zatima if y'all watch Zatima, because I know some people say they don't want to watch Zatima. They want to stick to Sistas or whatever. But yeah, that's it. That's all. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, deuces. Have a great rest of the night, a great rest of the day, and be safe.